The room smelled like polished wood and old money. I sat at the end of the long oak table in Harrison and Cole law offices, hands folded neatly in my lap. Across from me sat my sister, Vanessa. Perfect posture, perfect hair, perfect smile. The kind of smile that already knows the outcome. The attorney cleared his throat. As per the amended will of Robert and Elaine Whitmore, amended. That word hit harder than anything else. My parents had passed away 3 months apart. Sudden illnesses, sudden decisions, sudden distance from me during their final year. I wasn't stupid, I just hadn't been ready to believe it. The lawyer adjusted his glasses. The Whitmore estate, including the primary residence, investment accounts, and majority ownership of Whitmore Holdings, transfers in full to Vanessa Whitmore. Silence. I didn't gasp, didn't argue, didn't react. Because betrayal isn't loud. It's quiet. It settles slowly. Vanessa exhaled dramatically, like she was overwhelmed. Oh my God, I can't believe they trusted me with everything. She didn't even look at me when she said it, not once. And to my younger daughter, Alara Whitmore, the attorney paused. I almost smiled. A pause always sounds hopeful. A personal letter and a $25,000 bequest. $25,000 from an estate worth over $90 million. Vanessa finally looked at me, pity in her eyes. That's still a lot of money, Alara. You'll be fine. Fine. That was the word people used when they were comfortable watching you drown. I nodded slowly. Congratulations, I said calmly. Vanessa blinked. She expected tears, maybe anger. She didn't expect composure. She definitely didn't expect what I already knew. 6 months earlier, my parents stopped taking my calls. Vanessa had moved back home to help. She'd always been the golden child, charismatic, emotional, dramatic. She cried at dinner, held Mom's hand, talked about family unity. Meanwhile, I was the cold one, the practical daughter, the numbers girl. I built businesses. Vanessa built sympathy, and sympathy is a powerful currency. I later learned she convinced them I was distant, too focused on empire building. She told them I would sell the company, break up the legacy. She whispered, she cried, she planted fear. And fear rewrites wills. But here's what Vanessa didn't know. I'd already walked away from inheritance years ago because I never trusted it to begin with. 3 years ago, when Dad refused to give me leadership in Whitmore Holdings, I didn't argue. I left. Vanessa laughed when I did. "You'll be back," she said. "You always come back." I didn't. Instead, I started something smaller, a private equity firm, discreet, strategic, aggressive. I built it under layered LLCs and silent partners. I never attached the Whitmore name. Within 36 months, we controlled logistics chains, mid-market tech firms, and real estate portfolios across 4 states. Quietly, legally, powerfully. Vanessa wanted the throne. I built the kingdom next door. Whitmore Holdings wasn't what it looked like. Dad expanded too fast in his final years. He took on debt to acquire land and commercial property. Vanessa didn't understand that. She only saw valuation numbers, not liability structures, not variable interest rates, not balloon payments due in 18 months. At the will reading, she smiled like she'd won the lottery. She inherited the crown. She also inherited $47 million in leveraged debt, and she didn't even know it yet. 4 weeks later, Vanessa called me. Her voice sounded thinner. "Alara, did you know Dad had restructured loans last year?" "Yes," I replied calmly. "Why didn't anyone tell me about the maturity schedule?" I didn't answer immediately. Silence makes people uncomfortable. "Because you never asked," I said finally. She inhaled sharply. "They're demanding restructuring or partial liquidation." I leaned back in my office chair, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city skyline. Then restructure. It's not that simple. Of course it wasn't. Interest rates had shifted, markets had tightened, banks were cautious, and Whitmore Holdings wasn't as strong without Dad's reputation backing it. "What do you want from me?" I asked. She hesitated. "I need advice." Advice from the sister she pushed out. I almost admired the irony. 2 months later, Whitmore Holdings defaulted on a major covenant. News travels fast in finance. Faster when you own the channels. Because here's the part Vanessa never imagined. The primary lender for Whitmore's largest debt package was me. Or more accurately, my firm. We acquired the debt quietly when the original bank wanted out. Discounted, strategic, calculated. Vanessa signed restructuring papers without reading the acquisition trail. She never checked who controlled the note. She just signed. The day I called her into a creditor meeting, she walked into my headquarters wearing white, confident, until she saw my name on the wall, Whitmore Capital. Her face drained of color. "You?" "Yes," I said simply. "You own the debt?" "Most of it." She stared like she'd been physically struck. "You planned this." "No," I corrected gently. "I prepared. There's a difference." I slid the folder across the table. "These are your options." She didn't open it. "You're going to take the company." If I wanted it, I would have taken it already. "Then what do you want?" she whispered. I met her eyes. "For the first time in your life, I want you to understand consequences." She swallowed. "You manipulated 2 grieving parents. You were never around. I was building something that didn't require their approval." Silence fell between us, heavy, sharp. "Here's the reality. I now control your liquidity timeline." She finally opened the folder. Inside, a buyout proposal. I wasn't taking everything, just majority control. In exchange, I would stabilize the debt, preserve the brand, and keep the Whitmore name intact. "You become CEO?" "No." She blinked. "You stay CEO." Her confusion deepened. "But you report to me." Vanessa had always loved being in control. Now she had a title without autonomy. She signed because the alternative was liquidation, public embarrassment, total collapse. The media spun it as a strategic partnership. No one knew the family drama beneath it, except us. 6 months later, Whitmore Holdings stabilized. Revenue climbed, debt reduced, markets regained confidence. Vanessa learned to ask questions before signing documents. She learned to listen. She learned humility. And I watched, not with cruelty, but with clarity. One evening, I finally opened the letter my parents left me. It had been sitting in my safe for months. I unfolded it slowly. "Alara, you were always stronger than we understood. Vanessa needs protection. You never did. Forgive us if this decision hurts you. We believed you would build something bigger on your own." I read it twice. They hadn't underestimated me. They had trusted me in a strange, misguided way. They gave Vanessa everything because they thought she needed it. They gave me nothing because they thought I didn't. And maybe they were right. A year later, I stood at the top of Whitmore Tower during the annual shareholder gala. Vanessa approached quietly. "You could have destroyed me," she said. "Yes." "Why didn't you?" I looked out at the city lights. "Because power isn't about destruction. It's about control." She nodded slowly. "I'm sorry," she added. For once, it didn't sound rehearsed. I studied her face. The entitlement had faded, replaced by something real, growth. "I know," I said, and I meant it. She stole the inheritance. She manipulated fear. She rewrote the will. But I built something no document could grant: leverage, stability, influence. And in the end, I didn't inherit the empire. I became the bank. And banks don't need permission. They own the future.